Welcome to Unique Footprints. I am Lauren Margolies and I will be your guide today to self-care. Now, what does self-care look like? It's always a little bit different for each individual, but I wanted to incorporate a self-care practice that I loved when I was pregnant with my two children. For me, something that was a constant issue was swelling in the ankles and the feet. And so I wanted to work on a practice that will help us to relieve tension in the lower legs, ankles, feet. So we're going to start in a chair today. And if you are joining me for the first time, if you haven't done this practice before, I'm going to have you grab some type of container that you can place your feet in with water. Mine is a blow-up version. And then if you have Epsom salts, that would be a great addition for this practice. So take a moment, pause, and grab those elements. Also, one more thing, some type of oil to help alleviate stress in the legs. We're going to be massaging with oil and we're going to be soaking with the Epsom salts. Now, if you like to add essential oils into your practice, I have some options for different variations. If it's a daytime practice, maybe a citrus like lemon or orange. If it's a nighttime practice, maybe a lavender or cedarwood. So feel free to grab essential oils if that is part of something you use for self-care, and then come back and join me when you're ready with all of your goodies and you're ready to find some time for self-care. Come to a quiet place where you can just give yourself maybe 15 minutes to just recenter and know that this time is just for you. So this practice is all about replenishing yourself and nourishing your body in a way that honors the process of whatever stage you're going through, whether it's preconception and you're trying to conceive, whether you're just in the beginning phases of pregnancy, or if you're much further along and really feeling the struggle of the extra weight and the extra pressure in the legs, then you'll benefit even a little bit more from this practice. But it's accessible for all stages as well as postpartum. If you have a brand new baby and you just need some time for yourself, this is the practice. So once you're ready, chair is accessible, any type of chair that feels good for your body. And all we're going to do from here is bring your right foot up. Now, once you're here, we're just going to grab our oil, which is right here, and I'm going to place some oil into my hand. And then from here, I'm just going to rub my hands together for a moment. And first, just take a smell if it has a scent, and just breathe in the scent of your oils. Maybe it just has the scent of the oil, and that's okay too. Just take a moment to get mindful of the scent. Once you get that scent, also notice your breath and allow your breath to deepen naturally. And once you've taken a few deep breaths, we're just going to rub the hands together, still being aware of your breath. Start to bring your hands to your lower leg, and depending on your pants, you might want to bring your pants a little higher and massage a little bit higher, but we're just going to use our own hands to create a little massaging action to help increase the blood flow. So just kind of moving in any pattern that feels good for you. For me, keeping all my fingers together and just kind of rubbing from the front to the back of whichever way you're facing. And then it feels good to me also to come to the ankle and just take your thumbs and start to massage around the base of the ankle. This was a practice that really helped me to alleviate the fluid tension that happens in pregnancy. So I would do this on a very regular basis when I was pregnant, just to help alleviate some of those symptoms that start to creep up on us at that later point of pregnancy. But again, it's great for all people, all levels. It's still a practice that I love to do. I haven't been as committed as when I was pregnant, but it's a great practice to help alleviate stress in the body. So just continuing to massage. And then if you feel like you want to go a little higher, maybe you come to the back of your leg and just kind of release the calf muscle. So taking a few moments to just anchor through that massaging process, whether you're using your thumbs, whether you're using your whole hand, whatever feels good. This is not about one specific method. It's really about the practice of being in tune with what feels good for your body. So noticing which type of motion feels good, noticing if you like the pressure to be really light, if you like the pressure to be really deep. There's not a right or wrong. There's just an opportunity to inquire of what feels good for your body. Take a couple more breaths here, just noticing the sensation, massaging through the lower leg. And then once you have a moment to kind of move down to the ankle, we're going to come to the top of the foot and just create a little bit of a massaging action. You can always add more oil if that feels good for you. So know that's accessible. Taking just another breath or two here for that top of the foot. And then from here, we're going to move to the heel. So just taking your thumbs and kind of circulating around the heel area of your foot. Noticing the texture, noticing the sensation of what it feels like. And then allow your hands to start moving to the center part of your foot, near the arch of the foot. Just sensing what it feels like, being tapped in. Taking just a few more breaths here, massaging through the sole of the foot. How often do we take the time to create self-massage? This is such a signal to your body that it's time to relax. It's a signal to all your nerve endings that it's okay to just release and let go of the tension in the body and just revel in the sensation of skin-on-skin contact, which we know with babies is such an important gift. When we're able to have that skin-on-skin contact, it stimulates so many beautiful chemicals to release in the brain, serotonin, all of those feel-good chemicals. So just taking a few more moments here, just massaging across the sole of the foot. And then eventually you're going to come to the toe pads and just massage across the toe pads. Once you've gotten a good sensation across all of the toe pads, we're going to move to all of the toes, just massaging each of the toes. Couple more breaths here. Notice if you lose connection with your breath, that's okay. It's totally normal. Just bring it back. Notice the mindfulness aspect of this practice. So tuning into the sensations physically, but also tuning into that internal connection, breathing into the sensations. Let's take a cleansing breath here. Deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Now, here's where it's going to get a little bit more intense for the foot, but this feels really good. So this is going to depend on how much availability you have in your feet. There is a good possibility that your feet are really swollen right now and you might not be able to get very deep into this practice, but you might also want more oil for your fingers for this. We're going to use our fingers and try to place them between your toes. So your index finger will come between your big toe and second toe. Middle finger comes between the second and third toe, ring finger between the third and fourth toe, and your pinky finger comes between the fourth and the pinky toe. Now, again, your fingers may be way up high. You can't see exactly on my foot, but if you have a little bit more availability, maybe you really mindfully start to bring the fingers down just a bit. We're not trying to force at all. There's no forcing. There's just a noticing of what's happening, breathing into the sensations. Once you find a position that feels comfortable, where your fingers feel like they're kind of settled in and you don't feel like there's a strain on your foot, we're just going to create a little circulation with that foot and the ankle. So you're rotating from the ankle, circling that entire foot. And then we're just going to circle the opposite direction. Notice what the sensation feels like. And then just gently press the foot back towards the front part of the ankle. So the top of the foot moves towards the front of the ankle. You're not pushing or forcing. You're just bringing the foot a little bit closer and noticing. And then slowly come the opposite way. So the back of the heel comes towards the back of the ankle. We'll do that again. Gently bring the top of the foot towards the front of the ankle. And then gently bring the back of the heel towards the back of the ankle. We'll come back into the center, neutral position with the foot. One more time, we're just going to create a circle with that ankle. And then circle the opposite direction. And then very softly, we're going to come back to neutral and start to release one finger at a time. And then once again, circle your foot. And then we're going to press through your toes and then press through the heel. We'll do that again. Press through your toes and press through your heel. Go ahead and very mindfully use your hands to release that leg and just take a moment. All I want you to do is notice with both feet on the ground how that feels in your body. Notice the blood movement. Maybe you can actually feel that. Maybe you just imagine. Maybe you notice a greater connection between the sole of the foot and the ground, just sensing what is happening in your body. And from here, we'll take a cleansing breath. Deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. One more time. Deep breath in, out through the mouth. Now, as you feel ready, we'll transition to the other leg. So opposite ankle comes towards the top of that thigh just above the knee. If this position doesn't feel accessible for you, maybe you add some padding so that you're sitting up a little taller, or maybe you find some other way to access. Maybe you're sitting on the floor and your legs are kind of spread out. It doesn't have to look exactly the way mine looks. Find what feels good for you. When you're ready, grab your oil. We're going to get a little bit more oil for the other side. Spray some into your hand. And then from here, rub the hands together, and one more time, hands across the face, deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more time. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Rub the hands one last time. And then from here, we're going to bring hands back to the ankle, and we're just going to first start that massaging action and just begin to notice what this side feels like. This side might feel really different. This side might feel the same. Just sensing. And then find some type of motion that honors your body, that feels good, that allows you to feel that sense of ease, and imagine that healing energy moving from your hands down to your ankles, down to your lower leg. And then again, maybe you start to kind of rub a little bit towards that lower leg. Maybe you start to massage the back of that calf muscle, whatever you did on the other side, or maybe this side needs something a little bit different, and that's okay too. So sense what your body needs, becoming more in tune with what we need in each moment. That is one of the gifts of pregnancy, is it really can enable us a chance to be more tuned into our bodies. That experience doesn't happen for everyone though, so it's okay if that's not your experience. Honoring whatever your experience is. We'll massage the back of that leg for just another moment or two, and then we'll bring the hands back to the ankle and the lower part of the leg, and we're just going to find that little massaging action. And then from here, just as we did on the other side, we're going to take the thumbs and start to really get into the ankle area. So from the front and the back, so one hand is on top, one hand is below, just really trying to massage through that ankle. Our ankles support so much of the weight of our body all day, through walking, through gravity. So just honoring our ankles for a moment. And then we're going to bring our hands to the top of the foot, and we're just going to find that same massaging action that we found on the lower leg in any way that feels good. So again, maybe it's a really light pressure if you're feeling like there's a tension that needs to be released. Maybe a deeper pressure is allowing you to create more sensation. Sensing what feels good. Sensing all of the blood flow. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to move our hands to the heel, and first to start to use the thumbs to graze across the heel. And then moving into a deeper part of the heel, inching closer towards the center of the foot. And then as you're ready, starting to move towards the arch of your foot, and knowing that you can pause and take moments in the areas where you feel more tension. Spend a little bit more time there. In the areas where it might be a little bit more sensitive and it feels like it's too much, just back off. So you don't have to keep going in the areas. If it feels like there's too much pressure, know that you can find a greater sense of ease. And then as you massage the arch of your foot, just begin to check in with your breath. Now, of course, there are lots of reflexology points in the soles of our feet. And if you are at the end of your pregnancy, this could stimulate contractions. So be very mindful of where you are in your pregnancy and what the right pressure is. Now, if you are trying to stimulate pregnancy, this could help. But there are some weeks where, of course, we don't want to encourage that, in which case you want to just move very lightly. So notice what's happening in your body. I remember at the end of my second pregnancy where I was nearly 2 weeks late with my daughter, and somebody told me to go get foot massages every day, but she said go to the places that they are like crazy strong, where they're going to really press into those reflexology points. So you don't want to do that until you're ready to deliver. So keep that in mind through this practice. Now start to move to the toe pads, just massaging across the toe pads. And then we're going to come to each of the toes and just massaging each of the toes. And then as you're ready, we're going to do the fingers through the toes again. So you might want more oil. So if so, grab some more oil. We're going to place the index finger between the big toe and second toe, middle finger between the second and third toe, ring finger between the third and fourth, and pinky between the fourth and the pinky. Notice if it's harder to get your fingers in this side, or maybe it's easier. There's not a right or wrong. And then very gently, once you're there, just kind of settle into that feeling of your fingers between the feet, between the toes. And then we're going to very softly start to circulate the ankle. And then gently circulate the opposite direction. And then from here, we'll gently press the top of the foot towards the front of the ankle, and then bring the heel towards the back of the ankle a couple more times. We'll do one more each way. And then once you come back to neutral, we're going to create circles one more time. Just honoring our ankles, our feet, circle the other way. And then very gently coming back to a neutral position, just pause for a moment. We'll slowly begin to release the fingers out from the toes and very gently use your hands to relax that foot down and just breathe here for a moment. Cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more time. Deep breath in, out through the mouth. Now we're going to move to the last portion of this practice. So the self-care portion, you might be near a bathtub. You might be using some type of bucket or something that just houses some water. So this is filled with water, and all you're going to do, and I like to use warm water, but it doesn't need to be hot. So whatever feels good for you. You don't want it to be shockingly cold. I have Epsom salts, and this is just a blend of Epsom salts and pink Himalayan salts. And all I'm going to do here is open the top and pour in, I like to measure typically about half a cup for a foot bath. If you want less intensity, you would just do less, maybe a fourth of a cup. If you want a lot of intensity, maybe you do a full cup, and you're just going to sprinkle the salts into the water. And then from here, you can add a little stir. And what I would say is if you are going to use essential oils in your bath, this is an important tool. You want to add the oils to the salts before you add it to the water. When you add the oils to the salt, it will help disperse and attach the molecules to the salt so that it's more easily dissolved in the water versus just kind of floating on the top. So you would add the essential oils to the salt first, and then you're going to just use a hand to kind of stir it around. And then once it's all mixed in, you'll gently lift one foot, place it in, and you might need to move it back just a bit. And then lift your other foot, place it in, and we're just going to sit in our salt bath with our feet for a little while. And again, the oil that you would choose would be depending on time of day, maybe, or just what your body's needing. Please always know that some essential oils are contraindicated for pregnancy, things like clary sage or other hormonal essential oils that can affect our hormones. So make sure that you're diligent about your research on which oils are not to be used for pregnancy. And then once you're in this little salt bath, we're just going to bring our hands onto our thighs and just rest here for a moment. Sitting up nice and tall, begin to close your eyes. And all I want you to do is feel the water grazing against your feet. Notice all of the space that we've created just through that simple act of self-massage. Notice the space between your toes. That always helps me to feel this opening and expansion through the toes when I do that massage. And just sensing if you added the salts, noticing if you could feel maybe little grains of salt underneath your feet. Noticing the level of the water, where it reaches. Does it touch your ankles or is it just on the feet? Start to root your sitting bones into the ground or into your chair, wherever you're seated. And just imagine that healing energy from this little bath to move up the soles of your feet into your ankles, sending healing energy all the way up. So imagining receiving that healing energy from the soles of your feet through every cell in your body. And just noticing your breath and allowing your breath to naturally flow in and out without any hesitation. We'll take a cleansing breath, deep breath in through the nose, out through your mouth. One more time, deep breath in through the nose, out through your mouth. Now just notice how you feel. We'll bring our hands together in front of our heart center and just know that you can stay in this water bath as long as it feels good for your body, just honoring what feels good for your process. And just taking a moment of gratitude for this opportunity of self-care, gratitude for our ability to connect virtually and know that I am sending you healing energy from my heart to yours to